Okay, I think we got it sorted. Oh my goodness, I see a healthy hair in the house. I see Mrs. Shelley in the house. I love y'all. Thank you so much for being here. So we have a little bit of a different angle today. Some different things are happening. Perhaps you notice some furniture in the background. But we're gonna be cool. I'm gonna try not to shake the table because I have you sitting up here fairly precariously. But this is going to be a wonderful doozy of a huddle this morning. So I want to first of all start off by congratulating you for caring enough about yourself to come by and check this video out and try to get this intel and get this pump up for the week and to continue to invest in your health. Remember, health is about wholeness. It's about authenticity. It's about purity. And today I'm going to help you shake off that inky, misty stuff of shame. So we're going to get rid of that today. I'm going to give you a tool you can take for the rest of your life. I'm going to give you some really specific how-tos, some strategies toward the second part of this video, this huddle this morning. But first, I have something super exciting to say. Y'all, what does this number mean? Uno, dos, tres, 1, 2, 3. It means we are only 3 subscribers away from our first goal on YouTube. So I had the long story. I ran out of tissues and I had to bring a washcloth to like dab my sniffles and whatever. And then I had to use that to keep the computer from sliding off the thing. These are problems we're not going to have 3 subscribers from now because I will be able to stream from my phone. So YouTube has certain thresholds and we're almost there. So thank you. If you have not shared this with your, I don't know, your reading club, your family, anybody that you know that's into health or taking care of themselves or would like a ritual, a routine, a place to come to become more healthy, more whole, more authentic, please share this live, share the channel, share whatever you can with them because you know I'm here every Sunday for y'all. And I thank you for being here for you too. And so 3 away. So we're at 47 subscribers. We need to get to 50 and we're doing great. So it could be this week. It could be this week. So happy days in that. So today's video is about how I healed from shame, and it's about why shame is the most toxic emotion. And don't worry, I know it's a heavy topic, but it's going to be a really uplifting message. So thank you so much for being here. So let me see. I would drop a note or a star or an emoji or a yes or something in the chat if you are ready to be free of shame for the rest of your life, and if you're ready to have this tool that you can share with loved ones in case you see them going through things that are shame-provoking, or you can see that shame is kind of that deteriorating, taking away from some of their life force, because I know we want all of our loved ones to shine bright. I certainly want that for y'all. So let me know in the chat. Oh, Lindell says hit the like button. Oh, thank you for saying that so much, and thank you for being here. Yes, y'all, please hit the like button. Please hit the hearts. Please comment. Do all that stuff because it helps the algorithm understand that we're actually real people here connecting and that there's something of value happening. So thank you for reminding me of that, Lindell. You're my sweetheart. Yes, my twin dolphin. Melanie, thank you so much, sweetie. Thank you for being here. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Keep those hearts coming. Keep those comments coming. Okay, so first things first. Why is shame the most toxic emotion? Shame is the most toxic emotion because it does not play fair, y'all. The experience of shame is actually a scam emotion. It's not actually a true emotion. I'm gonna tell you why in 1 second. Shame is more like a parasite, and I'm gonna explain why. So I have a visual aid. I know it's gonna be backwards since I'm using the rear facing camera, but you're gonna get the idea. This is the emotional scale that was created by, this is all a concept and information from Abraham Hicks. They're the people who coined the term law of attraction back in the day and stuff like that. But this is something they had in one of their books and they talk about. It's called the emotional scale. So you as a person have experiences, and there's a scale of emotions, and they're based on energetic frequencies. And so the good feeling emotions are all up here. The most good feeling emotions, joy, love, freedom, appreciation, empowerment, that is when we're in alignment with the deeper parts of ourselves and we're resonating at a true frequency. When we get all the way down here to the bottom, things that feel really yucky, powerlessness, grief, fear, depression, despair, are part of ourselves, and it feels this. So emotions. This is a feedback system about how you as the being, the observer, the consciousness is thinking in a particular moment. Are you getting more in tune with the truth of that your wisest, deepest, most divine part of yourself knows, or are you kind of getting further away from it? So it's a guidance system. Abraham Hicks talks about your emotions as a GPS. These are legitimate emotions. This is what emotion is. Shame, on the other hand, is a sneaky little devil because shame is more like a parasite. It seeks to replace your beingness. So you've maybe heard people talk about shame is that there's a thing, you can have an experience of feeling bad about something that you did. I'm a valid, valuable, good person, and I have shame over this behavior that I took because it was out of character for me. That wasn't necessarily the wisest thing to do. I have shame, or I feel guilt or bad or regret or something about an action that I took. So you might have heard people talk about it, shame that way. It's like there's the feeling shame about a thing that happened, where it doesn't get on your person. It's like, I'm still me, but that, maybe that was something I'll make a different choice on in the future. What shame really does, and this is why it's not a real emotion, it's a parasite, because it says, oh, no, it's not that I'm good and the thing I did was whatever. It says that I am the shamefulness. I should be ashamed of myself. I am bad. You can't get that off of you. I don't know if you've ever heard, so I'm gonna give you an example. It's gonna be kind of gross, but you're gonna be okay. Let's see here, Shelly says, oops, I did it. What did you do? No option to hit like. Thank you, sweetheart. Healthy Hair says, yes, purple is my favorite color. Yes, those emotions up in the purples. I added the color coding just because it's easy to say, oh, I'm in the purples or I'm in the yellows or whatever. So we can talk more about the emotional scale in depth at a certain point. Let me give you an example, and we'll do it in another huddle. But let me give you an example of what I mean about shame. So shame seeks to replace the person. So there was this thing that I learned about a long time ago, and these fish, and they would get this parasite. They could get infected with this parasite. And what the parasite would do, so you have the parasite and then you have the host. More than one ingestion, I'm getting a note from YouTube, more than one ingestion is using the primary URL. Send one stream to the primary ingestion URL and one stream to the backup URL. Literally, that's a message that I just got from YouTube. I have no idea what they're talking about. If y'all are still here, I think we're doing good. Oh, Lindell has a perfect example. He said, you didn't do a crime. You are a criminal. Bingo. That is the kind of thing we're talking about with shame. It seeks to replace your identity. So what happened in this fish example, and hopefully it'll stick with you like it did for me. This parasite would infect these fish. And what would happen is the parasite would take the place of the fish's tongue. And it would control the brain of the fish and make the fish swim into dangerous places and eat things that were dangerous for the fish and not good for the fish, but that benefited the parasite. So I've heard of, people that can get, humans that can get certain parasites that like send signals to our brains to do stuff that's not good for us and stuff like that. Certain things that are, it's not like it's a symbiotic relationship that this is going to help us both. It's literally deteriorating the host, deteriorating the person to serve the thing. So shame is like that. It seeks to just replace the brilliant, beautiful divinity that you are with some concept of unworthiness. So in this example, when I'm talking to you about being a being, experiencing emotions, you're still sacrosanct. You're still a being. You're still divine. You're still wonderful. You're still radiant. You're an experiencer, and you're just experiencing an emotion. That is a legitimate experience of emotion. Why shame isn't fair and doesn't fit on here. And you could say, yes, shame feels bad, and you could do that if it's helpful for you. But really what shame does is it jumps off the scale and talks about worthiness. Well, we can't defend worthiness. We're grasping at straws. Well, I'm worthy because it is an illogical thing to even think that we're unworthy. It's like, I heard somebody use this example one time, that it's like trying to discuss the marital status of the number 5. It's just, how can you're valid because you're here. You're valid, like you're worthy because life keeps choosing you every day. We don't have the explanations for why existence exists or why we're a part of, like, it's beyond the scope. So shame seeks to take us out of ourselves and make us bad, and because we're bad, it's like we're unredeemable. It is a control mechanism, it's a sickness, and it's not something that belongs in you. And I'm going to tell you in just a second how to get out of it. I'm going to give you tools to get out of it, and I tell you my personal story. Chroma says 100. I'm so glad you're here, beauty. Okay, so my story, did I tell you everything? Okay. So my story, my experience with shame, I got mine early. A lot of us experience shame in childhood. So someone recently told me that children exist, I think it's in the theta brain state predominantly. And this is the state of imagination. This is the state of, it's also a state of hypnosis. So we're in this certain brain state and we're just being hypnotized and being programmed by our environment as children. It makes sense evolutionarily. You want to get the kid in and have them in a receptive mode so they can learn how to survive and thrive and enjoy their time here in whatever environment they're in. The trouble is, we in our culture today, and when I was growing up, our culture is not a divine-based culture. We live in a fairly harm-based culture, and so people are not always well. And so we can inherit and have experiences that are damaging to our beingness, are damaging to our identity. And shame is a big, big one of that. So when I was growing up, I was in an environment where some of the adults were not healthy. And I was told things like, even though everybody likes you, if they knew how you really were, they wouldn't be a fan. They wouldn't like you. I know how you really are. And so it was like, I thought I was okay. And then it was like, wait, what's wrong with me? I'm really bad. Oh, even though these people are giving me positive feedback and giving me acceptance and love and warmth and approval, if they knew how I really was, how am I really? Like, you're a kid, right? I didn't have any tools against that. I was like, oh, maybe I need to try harder. Maybe I need to do better. I was blamed for adults' sicknesses. Oh, if you would be like this, I wouldn't do this action. If you would do more of this and be less like this, then I wouldn't be out here hurting myself. It was absolutely topsy-turvy. And you can imagine as a kid, that was very painful for me. I felt ashamed and I didn't know how to fix it, because that's why shame is a scam. You can't fix it. It's a trap. It is a trap. So lucky for me, I had another family member who got me help, who took me to a therapist's office, and they sat me down and they said, look, some of the adults in your life are struggling. They have a disease. It's called alcoholism. And when they talk like that, you're not talking to them, you're talking to the sick. It was twisting my brain around. I was like, what? And first of all, y'all are rude. That's a mean thing to say about somebody, that they have this, that they're alcoholic. That's not very nice. And I was like, oh, I don't want to think that or say that about these adults in my life who I depend on and love. But then my survival instinct kicked in. And this is a big lesson that I'm going to get to in a second, that I'm going to really reinforce and tell you how to use it. A part of me said, you know what? Only one of us is going to make us out unscathed, and it's going to be me. If only one of us makes it out alive, I'm choosing me, right? And I said, even if I'm wrong, I'm going to choose to believe that this person's an alcoholic, that this person isn't well, that this is a disease, because it's way easier for me to say that person has an issue than it is for me to deal with, I'm unredeemable, I'm unlovable, I'm not okay. I was little and I just made the instinctive choice to save myself. And so I said, okay, tell me more. Oh, that person has this problem. That person has this problem. Oh, well, too bad for them. I must be fine. And that helped me survive. And that is the first step on how to get over shame. You have to be willing to choose yourself, right or wrong, good, bad, or indifferent, come or high water. Choose yourself. You have to be willing to do that. You have to be willing to say, I'm just choosing me. I'm just choosing me. That is the number one thing that you have to do in shame. And it's the thing that shame hopes you won't do, because shame is trying to tell you that you're not worth choosing. So that was my kind of thing. And that's that first step that I'm going to tell you. You have to find what I'm going to call, for this purposes of what we're doing today, your killer instinct. You're not actually killing anybody. You're killing off this concept of shame that shouldn't have been on you in the first place. But like I said, we don't live in a culture where we are really trained to see the divinity in one another. We don't live in a culture that is creative and unifying. We live in a fairly harm-based, at least here in the West, I'm here in Los Angeles in the United States, our mythologies and our cultures are very dualistic, good, bad, right, wrong, kill or be killed. And when you're in that kind of environment, you have to be willing to choose yourself. You have to be willing to say, well, if this is my environment, I love peace, I love kindness, I love generosity, but in this moment, I need to be willing to pick up a weapon and defend myself. And that was my defense, was choosing that I'm just going to believe whatever I need to believe that says that I'm okay until I'm old enough and safe enough to process all this and deal with it. So number one step to getting over shame and how to heal from it is you have to find your survival instinct. You have to be willing to choose yourself. Period. I don't care what you have done in the past. I don't care if what they're saying about you is right or true. You have to be willing to say, you know what? All of that being what it is, I'm still choosing me, and I'm still willing to take care of me in this situation. Okay, are we following? Is everybody on? Sabrina is here. Oh, that brings me cheer. Hi, baby. Happy to see you. I'm so glad that you're here. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a yes. Give me something if all of this is making sense so far, and if you're ready for me to give you some steps past choosing yourself. I have some more techniques here that are going to help you get out of this shame cycle, if you've ever been in one or if you should confront one. Let's get into it. All right. Yep. Lindell says it makes sense to him. That's good enough for me. All right. So here's what we're going to do. The first step, as I discussed, is for you to choose yourself, get your killer instinct together. And it doesn't matter what people are shaming you for. People could be shaming you for your appearance. You could be shamed for something that you did in the past. You could be shamed for what color you are. You could be shamed for how you look. You could be ashamed for not loving yourself enough, for not taking care of yourself, for not having money, for like there's so many different things that people want to, try to make you feel ashamed about. Another one that's really crazy is people will feel shame. We will feel shame for being mistreated by other people. Isn't that interesting? It's one of the things with the Diddy whole thing that was coming out. I noticed a pattern when I was, really riveted to hearing all these terrible stories, which is not that healthy probably, but it was really interesting to me in that the psychology that he would harm someone and record it and then go back later and say, yeah, now I own you because I have you on camera being hurt. And the person would feel shame about that. They didn't hurt anyone. It's not like they got caught doing something where they were aggressing and they were misbehaving. They were being mistreated, but we will carry shame over someone else's misbehavior. Is that twisted? Is that a scam? It's a full scam. So I don't care what you've experienced in the past. I don't care what you've done in the past. I don't care what you're still doing that isn't really making you feel the proudest. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. You got to get out of shame. You got to be willing to choose yourself. First step. Second step. Now here's some different tools, and you're going to have to be. This is a dynamic thing. You're going to have to be willing to do this sometimes and do that sometimes, and use what works. So second thing. So once you've decided you're going to choose yourself, here's another tool you can use. You can decide or realize that they're the flawed ones. Like in the two examples I was just giving you, you're the one with the drinking problem, not me. You're the one with the identity problem, not me. You need me to be perfect so you can brag to your friends. That sounds like a you problem, not a me problem. So you can just put it on them. Let them be the flawed ones. Let them be the one who has the problem. That is one technique that you can use. Another technique that you can use is to say, yeah, you know what? Whatever you're saying about me might be true. That's fine. Everybody has something. Everybody has something. Everybody on this planet has something. Most people have struggled with shame, low self-esteem, suicidal ideation. They've done something they're ashamed of. We all have regrets. That is part of being a human being on the planet. So you can equalize. You can say, yes, and so, yes, and I'm not the first. I won't be the last. What else? A third thing that you can do. So we talked about making them the flawed ones. We talked about saying, yeah, so what? Everybody has something. And the third thing is another yes, and I might be the first, whatever the thing is that you're supposed to be feeling so ashamed about. Yes, that's true. And I might be the first person who is like that or has that condition or whatever it is, who's gonna, whatever. I might be the first really classically unattractive woman to grace the cover of whatever magazine. I might be the first guy who girls think is disgusting, who's going to win over the hearts of millions through his poetry. I might be the first, whatever it is. You get what I'm saying? You say yes to whatever it is that they're trying to make you feel ashamed about. And I'm going to make that great. I'm not letting that stop me. You know what I'm saying? So let's say someone is trying to body shame a person for being quote unquote too big, right? It's the best thing in the world when you go and look at a really voluptuous woman and she's showing people, like I was looking at some this morning, she's showing people, oh girl, here's how you do this at a size whatever. Here's how you do this for a size whatever, and get her little outfits together and show the hacks and stuff for making it work. I saw one where she's like, me wearing outfits I'm not supposed to wear to the beach. She looks so beautiful. She looks so classy. She looks so in love with herself. Yes, I am big and I'm beautiful and fantastic. Do you see what I'm saying? Not to say that, many people like, oh my God, don't encourage people to be overweight. It's very dangerous. We all have something. We all have something. But if you let yourself become the shame, you're never going to be able to live your life any kind of way. You see what I'm saying? So that is another one that you can do is a yes, and I'm going to reach the stars. And if your shame is faith-based or religious-based, remember something about that religion. It was supposed to be a bridge, not a prison. I'm going to say that again. Religion is supposed to be a bridge, not a prison. So religion comes from the Latin root religio or religare, which means to reconnect back with or like to tie, right? It's supposed to be the thing that unites your little me identity with the big me source, right? It's supposed to be a thing that connects or binds you to your source. It's supposed to be a bridge from, oh, I think I'm all alone in the world to, oh, now I have a relationship with the divine. Excuse me. But if it has become a prison, it is a trap and it's being used against you. I'm sorry, you guys. I remember getting in trouble in Bible studies. I remember getting in trouble in Bible studies for asking certain questions. And then I don't know what to do. There we go. Maybe the best thing that they ever told me was they got frustrated with me and they would look, I don't have your answers. You just need to go pray. And I said, I don't mind if I do. And that was the beginning of my relationship with spirit, where well, it wasn't the beginning, but it was a new evolution in my relationship with spirit. So I was, they tried to make me feel bad and feel ashamed for not falling in line. And then they got frustrated with me and sent me on my way. And instead of that religious experience I was going through becoming a trap where I'm just swirling around with them not having answers, I actually went and made that connection. So if it's a faith-based reason why somebody told me, or you grew up in some kind of group or some kind of cult or some kind of environment, whatever, they were telling you you're bad because you're not bad. If you were bad and unworthy, you wouldn't be here. Life would it be continuing to breathe through you. That which is living through you thinks you're just great. And so do I. And I thank you so much for being here. Healthy Hair says, yes, always put the safety mask on yourself first. I love that. That's a great analogy. It's like they feel shame for being weak and getting hurt. Oh, the victims, yeah, or the survivors, I should say, even if they were drugged and not the aggressor. And that's not fair. And life is unfair. So we're not going to play fair, especially when it comes to shame. Save yourself. You have nothing to feel ashamed about. I want you to feel empowered. I want you to realize your divinity, your radiance. I want you to go into your week feeling as proud as possible. And even if it's not a heavy shame trip that someone's trying to put you on, you're not dealing with like deep, dark stuff, still remember to choose yourself because life has chosen you. And that's a blessing. I love you guys. Thank you for choosing to be here this morning. Thank you for being here. And I hope you come again next week. Please hit the like button. I hope that you will share this with at least 3 people. At least collectively, if we get 3 more people, I will be able to stream with a better video quality for y'all. And I appreciate you. Have a great day and have an amazing week. I'll see you back here, same bat channel, same bat time next week. Ciao, Bella.